guys, today I'm reacting to a Nightmare Files video. So I'm actually really curious to see because it's called 3 Real Amazon Horror Stories That'll Make You Not Shop Online. And considering during a pandemic now, people are probably going to shop online more, or people have shopped online more. And I usually go on Amazon too. Like, I don't buy everything every day. Like, I don't buy a lot. Like, I barely buy stuff. Like, I used to buy a lot more before. But let's see if this will change my mind, because apparently it will. And my mom buys basically like a lot of shit on Amazon too, so I'm just kind of thinking maybe I'll be messaging her, or not messaging her, just telling her, watch this video. But I guess we'll see what happens here. Let's go. I'm really curious.
I heard the other man say, "Where is she?" You said she was in the van. Frank then told the man that she was just in there, and she has to be around here somewhere. The other man...
Anytime I hear van, I just think of like a white pervert van. That's all I really think of, to be honest. So, Amazon Horror Stories. This ought to be good. I'm really excited. I love some horror stories.
I'm 33 and I have a son named Jeffrey. He's 8 years old.
Okay.
Recently, I was able to save enough money to buy Jeffrey a PS4 for his birthday. 3 days before Jeffrey's birthday, I went on Amazon and bought a PS4 bundle that came with FIFA 20, Last of Us, God of War, Madden, and Fortnite. I ordered it so it would be delivered on Jeffrey's birthday to surprise him. On the morning of Jeffrey's birthday, I looked outside and saw an Amazon delivery van pull up to my house. Once he knocked at the door, I told Jeffrey to answer the door, as it was a surprise for him. This was something I regret. Because once the door opened, a man stood there holding the PS4. And the way he looked at Jeffrey didn't sit right with me. He just stood there with a really weird smile staring at my son with wide eyes. I could tell Jeffrey was feeling uncomfortable as he looked up at me in an unsettling and confused way. I thought the man would just hand us the PS4 and leave.
That's what
but the way he was staring at my son, I had to step in. I signed for it and I said thank you. The man just said bye. But he wouldn't look at me. He kept his eyes on my son, who was now behind me. My son and I were both a little put off by that man, but Jeffrey was happy with his new PlayStation and went to set it up in his room.
Good.
The following Monday, I picked Jeffrey up from school and asked him how his day was. He told me the usual stuff he always says. What he learned, what lessons he had. But one of the things he said scared me. He told me during one of his breaks, when they had recess, there was a man. He had got his attention through a fence that was hidden by some bushes in the field where the children spend their break times. I asked Jeffrey what the man said to him. He told me the man was being friendly, asking him where his friends were, when the school let out, and even if he wanted to go to his house afterwards.
No, I'm good.
I asked if he knew this man, and if he had seen him before. He said yeah. It was the man who delivered his PlayStation on his birthday. And not only that, he saw the man walking around outside watching our house from across the street. I asked Jeffrey when the man was outside our house. He told me in the evening over the weekend. He would look outside his bedroom window and see the man standing there across the street waving at him, smiling.
Oh my God.
I straight away called the school and warned them about the man hanging around the school. I also told the delivery service and the police. I told them what my son had told me.
Good.
The next 2 days, I kept Jeffrey home from school. I was so paranoid and worried I didn't want to let him out of my sight. That following Wednesday night, I woke up a little past midnight. I hadn't been sleeping well. I went to check on Jeffrey and then went downstairs to pour myself a glass of water. I then jumped out of my skin when I saw a black figure outside the back door and saw that the figure had tried the back door handle, but it was locked. I looked out the window trying to see who it was, but there was no one there. Then across the road, I saw a car started and took off down the street. I called the police telling them someone had tried to enter my house. I got no sleep that night, and I'm still having trouble sleeping. This all took place about 2 weeks ago, and we haven't had any incidents since, but I'm still paranoid and frightened that this isn't over.
So is that an actual like Amazon person? Or is that like someone like pretending to be that, you know what I mean? Because like some people like pretend to be, or like you're just kind of like not exactly with Amazon, you're just kind of like a delivery person that delivers packages like in your own car. Because like I have those sometimes too, you know what I mean? So I don't know if that's how, I don't know how it works.
My name is Kenneth. I'm 22 years old, and this story happened a couple of months ago. I had just gotten a job working nights at an Amazon warehouse near where I live.
Nights.
On my shift, there weren't that many of us. It would just be me on my own doing my work somewhere in the warehouse. I think it was my second night at work when the security guard who worked there introduced himself.
Okay.
His name was Vincent. He was a large man, slightly overweight, in his late 30s. He was friendly at first when we started talking.
At first.
Mostly small talk and interests we both have. He asked if I wanted to go get a beer and maybe see a movie the following Friday, as we both had that day off. I agreed as I didn't have any plans and I don't go out too often. That Friday in the evening, me and Vincent met up at a bar near where we worked. Everything went okay. We had some drinks, talked about sports and previous jobs we worked. Then we headed out to the movie theater. That's when Vincent started acting weird. We bought our tickets and headed to the theater. I needed to use the bathroom, so I went. I was standing at the urinal doing my thing when I heard the bathroom door open. I couldn't hear any footsteps, but I didn't think twice about it. Then I turned around. I saw Vincent standing there watching me. His head was down, but his eyes were up, and he was just smiling at me. I jumped and I laughed, saying he startled me. But Vincent just stood there looking at me. It was like he was angry almost, with a weird smile.
Leave me alone.
It's weird. You have to be there to understand.
Pervert.
I just walked past him and said I would wait for him outside. That was the first red flag. Then as we were in the movie theater watching the movie, I swear he was staring at me. I wasn't certain, but I could see in the corner of my eye that he was turned staring directly at me.
I can obviously see.
I was too freaked out to check, so I did my best to focus on the movie. The next thing that happened was Vincent started rubbing his hand on my thigh.
Oh, God.
That was it for me. I got up and I walked out. The next week at work, Vincent came up to me and asked if I wanted to go hang out.
No.
I looked at him confused and annoyed at the same time. I thought me up and leaving was obvious. I wasn't interested and don't want anything to do with him.
Yeah.
I told him no, I'm busy, and carried on working. Fast forward a few weeks later of him asking me and hanging out and texting me, calling me. I really had enough. So the next time I saw him in work, I told him I don't want anything to do with him and to leave me alone. I turned away and carried on sorting boxes. Vincent walked away and I thought that was the end of it. Boy, was I wrong. Later that night, I decided to take a break and go to the bathroom. I sat inside one of the stalls to answer a few texts.
Oh, God.
I then heard some heavy boots stumping down the corridor, then into the bathroom. I opened the stall door to see what was going on. Before I could open the door, it was kicked into me, causing me to fall backwards, and then Vincent was on top of me, putting his hands all over my face, trying to cover my mouth.
Oh, my God.
And then he started strangling me.
What the fuck?
I was losing consciousness, but I still remember the look of Vincent's face as he was choking me.
Oh, my God.
His face was red and his eyes were wide as they could be. I thought I was going to die, but for some reason, Vincent let me go and left the bathroom. I sat up trying to catch my breath. I was still in defense mode because I thought for some reason Vincent was going to come back and kill me. But he never did, thankfully. I reported what happened to the manager. He looked on the CCTV camera, and I called the police. You can see me walking into the bathroom, and about a minute later, Vincent rushes in. At that point, Vincent had left the warehouse and went home. Well, that's what he told the police anyway. I'm going to fast forward what happens next and say due to no proof of Vincent attacking me, the charges were dropped against him. He even got to keep his job.
What?
I felt that justice had been taken away from me, and there was no way I was going to continue at Amazon, especially with that maniac still working there.
Right?
I left that job, obviously, and currently have a new job. I hope and pray for whoever comes into Vincent's path, stay away from him.
Jesus, my dude. I have thoughts on that story in the end. I'll tell you guys later, but at first I was kind of thinking, he seems like a good guy. If he likes you, okay, just say I don't like you like that. Just say I want to be friends, right? I don't know if that was a girl or a guy, though. I don't remember if that was a guy or a girl.
My name is Nikki, and I'm 19 years old.
Nikki? Okay, sure, girl.
This past December, I got myself a Christmas temp job working at Amazon, helping with deliveries. It gets pretty busy around that time for deliveries, obviously, because it's Christmas. Right away, I hated the guy I was helping with deliveries. His name was Frank. To describe him, he was a bit overweight, didn't shave well, and his hair was short. I didn't like him because he was very rude and seemed like he was in a bad mood all the time. And I would be in the van with him most of the time making deliveries, and it was very awkward. I tried to make conversation with him, but like I said, he was very rude, and there was no point in trying after about 2 times. I thought about quitting, to be honest, or at least be with a different delivery driver, but I didn't want to cause any trouble. I was a temp
That's
after
fair.
all and needed this job. I thought Frank was really rude and socially awkward and not a nice person to be around, but I never thought he would harm me in any way. One evening after
Until
finishing deliveries, we were driving back to the Amazon warehouse, or at least that's where I thought we were going. Frank passed the turn where we always go to the warehouse. As I said before, we didn't really speak, so I wasn't about to question him. He would probably snap at me anyway. After he continued driving, the more obvious it was to me he was taking me to another place, and it wasn't the warehouse. I finally asked Frank where we were going. He didn't snap at me, surprisingly. He just said we needed to run and do a quick errand. I was looking around my surroundings, and I could see that we were around empty fields and abandoned farmhouses. At this point, it was getting dark outside. Frank then pulled up next to a tall, overgrown, and unkempt cornfield. He said to me in a very firm voice to stay exactly where I was. Don't move. Frank then got out of the car and started walking up into the dirt road, disappearing into the dark of night.
Get into the ground.
10 minutes went by. I sat in the van by myself in the dark and had no idea where I was.
I locked the
My
doors.
phone was in the warehouse in the locker, as we weren't allowed to have our phones during work hours.
Oh my god,
So I
you're
couldn't
fucked.
even go on my phone or use it as a light source. I needed to pee and couldn't hold it any longer. So I got out of the van and headed into the cornfield to do my business. After doing so, I started to walk back towards the van. In the near distance of the cornfield, I could see flashlights. 2, in fact. I found that really odd, as the whole area seemed to be abandoned. As I got closer to the van, I could hear a sort of heated argument going on between Frank and another man whose voice I couldn't recognize. I couldn't see him either. I heard the other man say, "Where is she? You said she was in the van." Frank then told the man that she was just in there, and she has to be around here somewhere. The other man said to Frank, "If we don't find her, you're a dead man." That's what those flashlights were.
Oh my god.
Those men were already out in the cornfield searching for me. I snuck off into the field, walking quickly but as quietly as I could, the whole time crying and thinking I was about to die. After walking far enough, eventually leaving the cornfield, I ran down the side of a long dirt road. I had no idea for how long, but eventually I came across an old diner which was still open, thank God. And the manager called the police for me. After this incident, I quit my job, but this wasn't the end of it.
What?
About 2 weeks after quitting my job, I got a call from my boss who employed me. He told me that I was the last one to see Frank, as no one has seen him since. Apparently there were rumors that he owed people money from gambling debts, the people you don't want to be in debt with. As much as I don't like to think about it, I'm pretty sure Frank's way of paying off his debts with those people was to hand me over to those men. And what those men had planned to do with me, I never wanted to imagine.
That's honestly terrifying and petrifying, just because, like, okay, first of all, those aren't really stories that I'm people want to not shop online. If anything, the first one was because of the person that, okay, if he was actually a delivery driver and then he was actually the one that, like, was delivering packages, like a normal delivery driver, and then he was the one stocking and stuff, then I'd be a bit more nervous and, like, you know, kind of like, now they know where I live, you know, like, that's the worst thing about, like, delivery, because then they're gonna know where you live, and then if they like you or whatever, then it's kind of like, yep, now I know where he lives. Perfect. So in a way, it kind of makes you not want to shop on Amazon, but at the same time, it's like, you gotta take risks, right? But the last two stories, those are the ones that fucking shook me. The person that the people were working with, that's who was trying to murder them. So again, for the second one, I didn't quite catch if the guy was a guy or a girl in the second story, the one with Frank or Vincent or whatever. So I don't know if Vincent was like trying to get to a girl or a guy. So if it was a guy and like he was obviously gay or bi, right? And then I would just say, oh yeah, no, I'm not into you like that, sorry, you know, that's the first thing I would say. But considering he went to the washroom, I'm assuming it's the guy, right? Because then he went to the washroom with him and then he said, I'll wait for you outside. So obviously that would be a guy and a guy thing, right? Obviously if it was a girl, then he wouldn't go into the washroom, right? And obviously the girl wouldn't say, okay, I'll wait for you. It's kind of like, what do you mean? Like you have to go into the guy in the guy's washroom then, right? So I'm assuming they're both guys, so I would just assume that he's gay or doesn't like girls or is bi or something, right? which I would understand if you don't like the person, just say, yes, sorry, I don't like it like that. Like, you would obviously still be friends and stuff. But, like, the fact that, like, you don't even ask, or you don't even, like, give any indication you're gay, and they start, like, rubbing them, then it's kind of like, okay, I don't really want to hang out with you anymore because you're kind of creepy. And then the freaking fact that he tried to murder him on the job, that's fucking terrifying to me. Like, can you imagine, like, you're just working at a fast food restaurant or anywhere, and it's just kind of like you went some other person, and then they legit try to murder you. Like, the coworkers I have, I love, but at the same time, it's kind of like, do I really know them that well? Maybe not, you know? So that's just the scary part, because, like, you obviously don't think that they're going to be a murderer, which they probably aren't, let's be realistic here, but they definitely could be, you know what I mean? Like, don't just assume they're not, you know what I mean? Because they very well could be. Which, that's the scary thing, you don't know who they really are. You don't know if they're a bitch, you don't know if they're a friggin' killer, rapist, who the hell even knows? Again, like, most likely not, these stories are probably, like, really rare, but it still happened to these people. Oh my gosh, that's really scary. That's gonna be it for this video, though. That was my only thoughts on the second one. The fact that you can, you know, you can just, what's it called? The fact that you can just say, okay, I'm not gay, but we can still be friends. But again, he obviously got uneasy, and then obviously he tried murdering him. So obviously at that point you would quit and say, yeah, I'm done. The third story don't get me started. Like, you're literally just driving somewhere with your coworker, thinking, yeah, you know. But again, because they're already kind of sus in itself, like, it's not like they were like pretending to be your best friends with you. It's not like you were like, yeah, I love you too, you know? Kind of like how I am with my coworkers. I'll see, I'd be like, I love you, give me a hug, you know? But, and then there's these people, Nikki and Jeffrey or something, or I forgot his name. James? No, no, I don't know, I forgot. But that guy and her, yeah. He was obviously involved with drugs or something, and obviously he had that job to pay back money. And because he didn't have enough money, I guess, that's why the girl was wanted. I guess he was in a trade, which is fucking fucked up. Like, you're just gonna sell your coworker to get raped or killed because you owe someone money. That's the thing, you never know anybody. Like, oh my god, that's the scary thing. You don't really know anybody until you truly know them. Like, I think I know all my friends. Again, I'm not saying that they're secretly killers, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you don't really know people's intentions, like, fully, or like you may not. Like, you think you do, but you may not, and that's the scary part. You don't know who, you don't even know if you know all your friends are cool, you don't know if they're killers, you don't know if they're freaking sus as hell, you know, it's just scary shit. It's really scary, to be honest. Like, I just don't know. That's scary and sus, like, I don't like that. But I'm believing that she escaped, and obviously the guy died because he said, you're a dead man if we don't find her, and obviously they didn't find her, so I guess he died. Considering he also didn't show up to work, so he obviously got killed, which, I mean, I'm not saying he deserved that. Of course, neither did the girl. But any of them deserve to die, but again, if you get involved with the wrong people, with drugs and alcohol and all this stuff, well then, and then you die because you owe someone money or something, then that's your own fault. That's your own problem for getting involved with that. I can't really say anything to defend you. Like, what am I going to say to that? Like, oh, you got killed because of drugs? Okay, well, that's why I don't get involved with drugs. Like, what do you want me to say? I don't do drugs. I don't smoke nothing. I don't fuck with that shit. Like, for what? But that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys still want to shop online on Amazon after this video, which I still definitely will. Just the first story kind of had me a little bit. Again, I'm not 8 years old, but you know, it doesn't matter if you're 8, 20. It doesn't matter. You can still get abducted. You can still get killed at any age. So stay safe and be careful. That's all I can really say at this point. Because again, all these horror stories are life lessons basically. So it is like basically a way to like help you learn as well. And some people have to learn the hard way and always get killed, but either way they still learn, so yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe, be sure to turn on post notifications. I upload 2 videos daily. That's gonna be it. Peace out.